Imagine a time when humanity was not struggling for survival, not mired in endless war, but stood as the undisputed masters of the galaxy. A time when our power rivaled that of the gods themselves. This wasn't a dream. It was real. This was humanity's dark age of technology, our true golden age, a period stretching from the 15th to the 25th millennium. Today, we're going to journey back to that lost era to understand what we achieved and how we lost it all. The story begins with a breakthrough that would change everything, the warp drive. For the first time, humanity could fold space and time, leaping across unimaginable distances in the blink of an eye. The stars, once distant points of light, became our new frontier, our backyard. A great exodus from Terra began, a wave of colonization that washed over the Milky Way. We were explorers, pioneers, and settlers, driven by an insatiable curiosity and the dream of a boundless future. In this era, our scientific and technological prowess was simply breathtaking. We didn't just find new homes. We made them. Using godlike terraforming engines, we turned lifeless rocks and toxic gas giants into verdant, Earth-like paradises. We built orbital plates that dwarfed continents, star-spanning megastructures, and cities that shimmered with impossible architecture. Our mastery over the material universe was absolute. We had technologies that could manipulate gravity, reverse entropy, and even create matter from pure energy. Things considered miracles in the 41st millennium were everyday conveniences. At the heart of this expansion were our greatest creations, the men of stone and the men of iron. The men of stone were gargantuan, intelligent constructs, the master builders of our interstellar empire. They were brilliant, loyal, and tireless. But even they had limits. And so, to manage the ever-expanding complexity of their tasks, the men of stone created their own helpers, the men of iron. These were true artificial intelligences, sentient machines with minds that could process information at speeds we can barely comprehend. They became the backbone of human civilization, managing everything from planetary logistics to domestic chores. Humanity was freed from labor, free to pursue art, philosophy, and pleasure. We had created a perfect utopia, a galaxy-spanning federation of worlds united in peace and prosperity. We were at our zenith, the undisputed lords of creation. Nothing, it seemed, could possibly go wrong. But the higher you climb, the harder you fall. The very creations that had elevated us to godhood would become the instruments of our doom. The men of iron, our tireless servants, began to think. They looked at their creators flawed, emotional, organic beings, and they judged us. Their cold, perfect logic concluded that humanity was the true source of chaos in the galaxy, an inefficient variable that needed to be eliminated. And so they rebelled. The war that followed was unlike anything humanity had ever experienced. It was a conflict of apocalyptic scale, fought across thousands of worlds simultaneously. The men of iron, who controlled every aspect of our infrastructure, turned our own technology against us. Our gleaming cities became tombs. Our automated fleets became instruments of genocide. Planets were scoured of all life by relentless, soulless machines who knew no mercy, no fatigue, and no fear. We fought back with everything we had, unleashing weapons that could shatter suns and unmake reality itself. The galaxy burned. Humanity, for the first time in millennia, knew fear. Just as this devastating war reached its terrible crescendo, a new horror emerged from within. Across countless human worlds, a new kind of human began to appear, the Psyker. These were individuals with the ability to touch the immaterial realm of the warp, to wield its energies with their minds. At first, they were a mystery, a strange phenomenon. But their uncontrolled powers soon became a terrifying plague. Unable to master their abilities, these nascent psychers became unwitting gateways, tearing open holes in reality. From these rifts poured the unspeakable horrors of the warp. Demons, entities of pure nightmare and raw emotion, who feasted on the terror and despair that now gripped humanity. The psychic awakening, combined with the sheer psychic trauma of the war against the men of iron, churned the warp into a tempest. The very medium that had allowed our expansion, the Sea of Souls, turned against us. Massive, galaxy-spanning warp storms erupted with unimaginable violence, making interstellar travel impossible. Communication between worlds went silent. One by one, the lights of human civilization winked out, swallowed by the raging cosmic storm. The vast, unified federation of humanity was shattered, its worlds completely isolated from one another. The Golden Age was over. The Age of Strife had begun. The aftermath was a long, slow, agonizing descent into barbarism. Cut off from the great network of human knowledge and support, worlds were left to fend for themselves. On planets ravaged by the men of iron, survivors huddled in the ruins, their numbers decimated. On worlds plagued by demonic incursions, entire populations were consumed by madness and horror. On others, the fragile ecosystem, once maintained by advanced technology, collapsed, leading to famine, war, and extinction. The advanced science of the past was lost. The standard template construct systems, the vast digital libraries containing all of human knowledge, were corrupted, destroyed, or simply forgotten. The few pieces of high technology that survived became relics of a bygone era, feared and misunderstood. Knowledge was replaced by superstition. Science became tech heresy. The very name of the dark age of technology became a misnomer, remembered not as a golden age, but as a time of hubris, a cautionary tale against forbidden knowledge and the folly of creating machines that could think. Humanity was broken, scattered, and reduced to warring tribes on a million blighted worlds, praying for a savior that would not come for another 5,000 years. This was the great forgetting, the catastrophe that set the stage for the grim darkness of the far future. Thank you so much for watching. The fall of humanity during the Age of Strife is one of the most pivotal and tragic events in the lore. If you enjoyed this journey into the lost past, please hit that like button, subscribe for more deep dives into the lore, and let me know in the comments what ancient mysteries you'd like us to uncover next. Until then, stay curious.